Wow, 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 wow. Welcome back to Beacon of Hope. Welcome back. And once again, sincere apologies. We went off. These are technical hitches that do occur. We sincerely apologize. That was not the plan. We didn't intend to disappear, but there were some technical hitches, but now we've managed to come back. Yes, somebody is saying they've already watched. Yes, you did, but that was not the real program. So welcome back. We welcome you once again to Beacon of Hope tonight. Welcome back. Sincere apologies to all the people who logged in and we disappeared. There were some technical hitches, but we've managed. Yes, we did it. So we're about 16 minutes late. And once again, sincere apologies. That was not the idea. We never intended to come late. But like they say, yes, we say better late than never. We are here. Finally, we've managed to join. Once again, sincere apologies. We had some technical hitches, but we managed. We are here now. So welcome. We go ahead with our program. Then what the devil meant for evil, we've managed by the grace of God. And here we are. We're just about to go live. So I did say that we have a very, very different kind of a program tonight. And I'm excited to host one of my very good friends, my sister, as she is willing and ready to share her own journey, her personal life with her son. She's going to come to that. But always, before we go to that, I always remind you that we've got a word always from our sponsors. First of all, are you sending money home? Are you supporting family back home? Are you in Kenya? Are you in Germany? Are you in Canada? Are you in most parts of states? If you're sending money, the easiest way, the best way to send money these days, it's with the highest rate of exchange. Here we go.
Niajiwase. TapTap Send Money Transfer has launched its app in Kenya. Send money to M-Pesa and Kenyan bank accounts. Send money quickly at the best rate. Hassle-free. Available in the UK, France, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium and Germany. Tuma kitu.
Yes, Tuma kitu nyumbani. Welcome, Beacon of Hope tonight. And my sincere apologies. We came in, some people logged in and I'm getting messages. What's happening? You disappeared. Yes, technical hitches. Hii inaitwa mitambo na inaweza potea anytime. Mom, try na kuona you are already here. Come on, people. Share. And I'm going to bring in my guest. And once again, before I bring in my guest, there are these our promoters, we need to talk about them. We need to share these messages. So are you planning to buy any piece of land back home? Are you planning to buy properties? Almond Estate Company Limited, they are the real deal now. If you are planning to buy a plot, we've got this 8-acre plot. These 8-acre plots, they are called, we're calling these Ada Gardens. And these 8-acre plots, they are within the Nairobi Metropolitan along Isinya Kiserian Road. And they are 8-acre plots going for 750,000 Kenya shillings. And we've got available electricity on site, a steamer. Community area, there's a borehole, chain link, and the best part of it is the payment options. You can choose to pay cash 750,000. And that includes everything, title deeds, all the transactions. Or you may decide to buy in installments. This is my best part. You pay 30,000, and then you fill in the forms from Almond Estate Company Limited, go through your lawyer, give your documents, your PIN, your ID, and then you start paying and pay the rest in installments within 24 months. And this is the best part of it, interest-free. So if you pay 750,000 cash, if you pay in installments within 2 years, interest-free, you pay the same. And that money includes the transfer money, the Title deed money, everything is included. How better can that get? So to do all this, get in touch with Almod Estate Company Limited on +254 733 874 080 +254 733 874 080, and that is Almod Estate Company Limited. So wherever you are, just give yourself a treat. Buy something for your mom, buy something for your dad, your family, your relatives, your friends. Yes. And this we can afford. It's quite affordable because you pay 30K, then you fill in all the documents. And you know what? I'm telling people I never advertise things because I've also been beaten twice, So I know I've lost money in this. So I know this is genuine. So go ahead. 30K, then do your due diligence, go and check, and then you pay the rest in installments within 2 years. I'll still come back to that later. Are you sharing? Are you ready? Mam Twena nasema tuma tuma iko, which son sees? Okay. So get ready, because yes, James Isaac, yes, not mine, a sister who lost her son here. She's going to share her story, but I'm waiting for you people to share. You haven't shared enough. Springforth Boro, Nakuona. And my darling obviously is here with me. He's my best cheerleader. I'm waiting to see who else is there. I'm waiting to see who else is joining us tonight. Yes, I'm waiting. Keep on sharing, keep on inviting people before we bring our guest tonight. Our guest tonight. Our guest is here to talk about her life experience. It's a bitter pill, it's bitter experiences, but guess what? She's gathered all her courage. She wants to help other parents. She wants to talk about how she lost her son and what could be done to avoid any other future such kind of death. So she's here to help somebody. And so that is why this is a very, very emotional, like I said, topic, but one which is worth sharing, one which is worth listening to. I know the story very well. I followed her through the journey, but we want to share. Jane Kangeve saying, Danny, yes, share, invite people. We want to hear this story. And like I say once again, it's very, very personal. But my sister here has decided I would like to support somebody. I would like somebody else to know. I wouldn't want anybody else to go through what I went through. Plus all this. She's coming. She'll share. But before she comes, I'm just urging everybody, please, that's what I'm doing right now. Kindly share. I always say, Beacon of Hope, we are here to empower, we are here to teach, and we are here to transform lives. And so my sister here, I would like her to come and talk to us and tell us, so that you can know what is it that she is doing, what happened to her son. And I say an adult son. Very, very painful, very, very emotional. If you've got any questions, any comments as she comes, as she joins us, and I know it's a bit late for some of us, especially those in Kenya. I can see people from all the way in the Arab Emirates. And please also, you can join us. You can follow us on YouTube, on Beacon of Hope Beacon. Yes, we are there, Beacon of Hope Beacon. You can follow us. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us, share, and join us. And you always be alerted whenever we have these and other programs. So once again, it's Beacon of Hope Beacon, our Friday program. I know it's a bit late for some people, but I did say time has changed now. Our time has changed. So without much further ado, I'm going to bring in my guest. And here she comes. Good evening, my sister. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Good to see you. You're looking well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Now, I've just done a lot of introduction, and I would like you to introduce yourself. Let our viewers know who you are. Briefly, let's get to know who you are.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. And also, I'm really honored to come to your show and actually humbled. So, my name is Veronica Carrera. I'm a mental health nurse practitioner. I am also a dialectical behavior therapist. And on top of that, I do self-discovery and wellness, inner wellness coaching. So I do a lot of things, and I'm also the founder of Kevin Carrera Leukemia Trust. So that's in a nutshell is what I do. And
Wow. Do you know you've said too many things? And I always tell people when you come here, bring us to that level where we can understand. There are two terminologies that I didn't get.
yes,
Actually, three, let me say. One, you said mental health nurse. We're going to come to that. Is that what you said? Mental health
practitioner, yes.
practitioner?
Mhm.
Okay. Then,
Dialectical behavior therapist.
oh my God, direct core behavior
Yeah.
therapist. You come to that because we need to know what is all this. And then number three.
And number three, I'm a self-discovery and inner wellness coach.
Wow, self-discovery inner
Inner
aware.
wellness. Inner wellness.
Wow. Okay, we start with the first one. Once again, my viewers, this is our Beacon of Hope program on Friday. Apologies for the late start. We had a few technical hitches, but hey ho, here we are. Our guest tonight is Veronica Carrera, and Veronica Carrera has just said she is a mental health practitioner. She is the others, she's going to talk about them because she's using very challenging words. I'm a teacher, but I must say I found that a bit challenging. Okay, could you tell us what do you mean by the first one, mental health practitioner?
So being a mental health practitioner, it just means that I'm trained I trained as a mental health nurse, which is a registered mental health nurse. And of course, within the practice, you develop yourself. You just don't remain a nurse. You do other things in terms of career development. But basically, what we do is we look after people who are struggling with mental health problems, different types of mental health problems. So as you all know, there are so many different types of mental illness. There is schizophrenia, bipolar, depression, anxiety. So, and there is so many of them. So, but those are the main. I think most people have heard of them. So I won't go into details beyond that. So that's what I do.
Did you train here? All these things that
Yes,
you do.
yes,
How
I did
long,
my training here. Yes.
how long have you been a mental health practitioner for?
This is I think I've been a mental health practitioner for the last 16 years, 15, 16 years.
16
I'm going
years.
16 years.
Okay. We go straight to the next one, and I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm not going to embarrass myself by saying it. What's the next one that you do? That
So
one.
the other one is just I trained myself to be a dialectical behavior therapy. It's really I know dialectical. It sounds it's quite this jargons that people use, but really it's a behavioral therapist where we modify behavior, and usually DBT is used for people who are struggling with personality disorders. So I don't know whether you've heard about people who suffer from different personality disorders, but the one for DBT is really geared to help people who struggle with unstable emotional personality disorder. So that's basically what we do. They have these behavioral problems, and then what we do is we give them therapy to just modify their behavior so that they don't suffer from. It's just about emotional issues. They don't know how to manage and regulate their emotions, and then obviously they end up doing some behaviors that affect their well-being and affect their life in general. So with DBT, it's just a matter of teaching them skills how to manage those behaviors and to become, obviously for them to enjoy life and to manage their life, so to speak.
Wow, behavior. Okay. And then there is the third one, self-discovery.
Now, self-discovery coach is obviously it's a combination of my own personal experience together with my professional experience. So I realized that through what I went through, they say sometimes you can be a doctor, but you always treat people when they're on the other side of the bench. But sometimes roles do change. You end up being on the other side of the bench. So, and I know when I went through a tragic episode in my life, I obviously experienced some emotional difficulties, as it was a difficult time for me. And obviously through that process, I learned a lot, and I had to practice my own skills that I teach my patients. And then I realized that from there, then I combined that, my professional and my personal, and then I coach people how to really be well emotionally, because I believe that everything starts with you. I know people can take medication and they can do anything, but everything, even life success, it always starts with you as a person. And unless you're able to manage yourself and manage your emotions and manage your well-being and manage your state of well-being, then life can be very disturbing and unhappy kind of a place to be. So I teach people how to become well from within.
Wow, it still sounds too jargonistic, if you let me use that, because it's like you say, some of it is things that you personally discovered and you thought you're gonna be that coach, you're gonna use that, because most of the coaches we've had are life coaches, are self-awareness and all this, but yours has gone into something that really, it's very personal. It's something that you've gone through and you've decided you want to come out and talk about it. Can we know a bit more? Where does Veronica come from? Because obviously the name doesn't sound okay. Let me not use that. Where does Veronica come from? We'd like to know, if you don't mind.
Well, I come, obviously, I'm a Kenyan. I come
it's
from...
not obvious. Names can lie.
Yeah. Yes, I'm a Kenyan. I come from Kenya. I was born in a village called Carrera, which is in Ikino, Githunguri, Kiambu district. I've been in this country now for the last, I think, 26 years. So I have trained here, and that's really just about it. So I was born and brought up in Carrera.
Carrera in Githunguri.
Yes.
To be honest, when I first heard that name Carrera, I'd never heard of it, and I'm from Githunguri. Where is the origin of Carrera? Is it?
Carrera was my father's name, but actually, from what I hear, is that it was not really. It was kind of a nickname that kind of stuck. So, and because I think I meet a lot of people from Zimbabwe, and they think I come from Zimbabwe because of the name.
It doesn't sound, and particularly Kikuyu, it doesn't sound Kikuyu. I know my mom is a Maasai name, obviously, so I know the roots. I know where that came from. But when I first heard Carrera, because I've never heard of it, the first time is when I heard your name. I wondered, is that really a Kikuyu? Yeah. Well, anyway, that's a bypass, because names, any name, and any name, and like they say in Kikuyu, any name a child can be given any name. Well, so is Carrera, is Kevin? Is Veronica a mother? Is she?
Yes. I am a mother of 2 boys. The last one is actually 26 years old. So, but as you know, I had Kevin and Ian, and of course I lost Kevin, and we're going to talk about that. So I'm a mother of 2 boys. I'm a single mother of 2 boys.
Single mother. Have you been single throughout your life? We do talk about these things because, yes, I've been single for quite a long time. I'm not single anymore. I know we shared. Have you been single?
Yes, I've been single for, quite a long time. I think I've been single since my second one was about 6 months, 7 months.
So you were once married? I never got married. This was my first marriage.
Let's not go into that, but
Yeah.
I do have a
Now I
history.
know. Now I know. We could have some potentials here. You never know. Anyway, so we come to the reason why we are here tonight. I've been sharing with you, and obviously I've followed your journey, and I know about one of your sons. And viewers, this is at your discretion, because Veronica is here to share a very, very emotional journey that she went through. But she has agreed to come and talk about it. So we will slowly go, through the journey. And if at any one time, my sister, you want to stop and have a drink, you can obviously go ahead and do that. We're not gonna, push you. So let's get to know. You come to UK with your two sons. From there, what happens? Let's go.
Yeah, it's been a long journey, and obviously, I would say things were not working back home. I would go into details, but then I had a friend who had come to England, previously, and I called her, and she said, "Yeah, you can come over." So basically, I was coming to visit her, and I decided to come with my two children. At that point, my life, obviously, and my relationship was not working, and I was going through a tough time. So, and I came over, thank God, and I decided to stay. So I came with my two young children. So Kevin was about 5.5 years, and his brother was about 6 months. I came on a very cold January. And before the month ended, I nearly went back because it was really, really cold.
We've been there.
And England was not what I thought it would be. But obviously, I held on to it, and life was difficult to start with. And yes, I did manage to get into the system. I started working, doing various jobs. I've done everything. I don't know where to start, but I really did.
Go on. We want to hear. You will encourage somebody here
Yes.
tonight.
Yeah, it was very difficult coming to a country where really I didn't have any family here apart from my friend. And as you know, this country is a very busy country. You can't rely on people because they also want to work. I had to work. I had two young children. And of course, in this country, as you know, you can't also leave your young children unattended. So it was really very difficult for me. So, and I remember my first job was cleaning. I think I used to go and clean a pub for 2 hours very early in the morning. And I remember, and I used to get paid, I think, 2 weeks. And it is at that point I nearly went back home, but I think I held on. So, but what I did is that my children started school. I started thinking, how can I develop myself? And I remember joining college for 2 hours in the evening to do, I had already known how to type, but I wanted to increase my speed, and I had to learn the computer, spreadsheet and all that. I got into college for 2 hours. Luckily, in this country, education is free, so I wasn't paying anything. So I took the opportunity. I developed myself that way. Then I remember when they started going to school during the day, so I started cleaning up people's homes to just earn money. It was a difficult time for me and my boys, but I think I really held on. So I cleaned people's jobs, and one of the things that I know about myself is that I've been a person who works hard from since I was young. We were born in village where we used to fetch water, look after cows, milk, do all those stuff. Yeah.
So the manual jobs we are used
all
to.
the manual jobs. Yeah. Yeah. I remember I used to carry, to fetch water since I was a very young, carrying those mitungis on the back, Yeah, so I started that way, and I remember in my cleaning jobs, one of the things I remember very well is I was cleaning this big house for this lady. She was from South Africa, and we became friends. And I do get emotional when I get to this story.
Listen, I did say if at any one time you want a short
Yeah,
break, I'm gonna let you take the break because I know very well that this is a very personal story and what you've gone through, right from settling all the way up to losing your son and all that. So at any one time, we do understand. And listen, I also have my tissues here with me. I know. I'm not
yeah,
encouraging that. I know, but
yeah.
if you want to take a break, just let me know. So,
No,
viewers, once again, we are hosting our friend, our sister Veronica Carrera, and she's just shared a brief of how she arrived in UK, and she's talking about how she lost her adult son. And that is why she said sometimes all the way her journey, it gets very, very emotional. So if you see us pause a bit, obviously we're human. It does not matter how long, yes. And this is your own son. So Ruth says, you are very brave, Veronica. Yes, because Veronica wants to help people. Veronica wants to talk about, and this is one way of healing when you talk about it. She's doing all these therapies, and she knows when you talk about it is one way of healing, letting go. So, okay, so you met this lady? We good?
So this South African lady, we became friends, and she had the same children, the same age as my children. And I remember when I cleaned her house for the first time, she could not believe it was her house when she came home. I had really cleaned it like it was mine, so to speak. So she was so happy. She really looked after me and my kids, and we developed quite a very good relationship. And I remember she really supported me through that patch of my life. Then I am one person who I like developing myself, and I don't like sticking in one place. So I remember then I graduated from cleaning houses. I started doing care work. That is obviously looking after the, I think I worked in so many areas of care industry. So I looked at people with challenging behavior. I worked with the elderly. I worked with the mentally unwell. So, and it is through that process that I thought, you know what, I need to develop myself and really go to university so that I can get a degree in nursing so that I can actually become a proper nurse. So it's through that experience that I decided, you know what, and actually I did apply in different universities, and I was accepted by all of them, and I was like, really? So I went to University of Surrey, and that's where I did my nursing. I graduated after 3 years, and that's when I became a mental health.
So you specifically took the mental health practitioner nursing.
Yes, that is because during my working in the care, within the care industry, I have actually gone into all those areas. As I said, I had worked with people with autism, young people with autism, with challenging behavior. I had worked with the elderly. I had worked with in nursing homes, and I had also worked with mental health people with mental health problems. And I think I kind of gravitated towards learning disability and mental health. So when I went to uni, then I just decided to focus on one. I think I originally went wanting to learn about, to study about learning disability, but then I changed to mental health. And I've never regretted, to be honest with you. I've learned a lot within mental health career. It's a very humbling job, especially when you see people what mental health means. So I chose mental, and I think it's because I like talking. So it's
You're a chatterbox like me.
Yeah, so it's about talking and finding about people's issues and problems, and then working together to solve those issues. And yeah.
Now, as we proceed, I can see Bishop has asked personality disorders, because you mentioned that earlier on. How do you discover a person with that problem of personality disorder? How do you know that somebody has a personality disorder?
By their behaviors. There are about 10 personality disorders. So, and they are all diagnosed differently. Sometimes people can have mixed personality disorders. So if I can mention some of them, there is the borderline personality disorder. That's the one I probably specialize in. There is dependent personality disorder. There is, I know you have heard about narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
There is paranoid personality disorder. There is I don't know whether I can remember them offhand.
No, just say what you can remember. You don't have to struggle that much.
So there is about 10 of them, and there is also conduct behavior, which conduct behavior usually it happens with young people, and then as they grow older, then it becomes antisocial personality disorder. And we believe most people who end up in prison, they do have antisocial personality disorder. So, and I know you have also had people who are psychopathic and all that kind of stuff, disassociate, all these things, they fall under personality disorders spectrum.
Wow. Not going so much into those details, but it's good to know. So that's a good question, Bishop. And guys, as you tune in, please, can I kindly ask you, do me a favor, click that button, share. Please invite people. I know we got in a bit late. I know we got a bit muddled up because we had technical issues. We were on and off, and we had to log in again, and so many people lost us. So just do us a favor, kindly share. And after sharing, you can also follow us and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Beacon of Hope, Beacon, please, so that any future programs we have, or if you want to follow this program anytime when you are free, you can do that. So kindly please share one thing. Let's spread this news, because it's not mine. It's very educative, like most of you are saying there. Very, very educative and very enlightening. So other people can get to hear this. And again, if you don't mind, please subscribe and like our YouTube channel. It's for free. Click that button and then subscribe. And in future, anything that comes from Beacon of Hope, you can always get that. So we continue, Veronica. Okay.
Yeah, where were we?
We were where this lady, you cleaned the house, and then I had to ask that question before we forget.
Yeah, so I did move from there, as I said, and
you did your degree, and yeah.
So, and so it's so things were working well. I qualified. I started working in the wards, and then I moved to, as I said, I'm not one person who stops in one place. I like developing myself. So I started working in the wards. Then I did more training, and I started working in the community. So I would work with people in crisis, like mental health, the mental health crisis, where you just assess them and decide what needs to happen. I've worked with drug and alcohol addiction. And I think within the mental health, I've really kind of down the rounds as well, because it's good to know different types of presentations in terms of mental health. So I've worked with drug and alcohol addictions. I've worked with the forensics, people who actually kind of forensic, what we mean is people who've been into prison. And also it's just because of their mental health, and especially the personality disorder we were talking about.
Yep.
I've worked with people in crisis. I've worked with people who, as I said, with personality disorders. And at the moment, I'm working with young children within the CAMS services. So I've really made sure that I've done the rounds within the mental health industry, so that you have a bit of that, and you understand it more properly, not just having one view. So it's when I was working as within the drug addiction that I decided to train myself as a director behavior therapist, and and back that was 2010. And as I say, 2012, things were actually going very well. My children had grown. My son, my older son, who was very responsible, I think he took it after his mom, because he used to look after his brother, and I have to say we were a team, all of us, the three of us. I always used to tell them I have to work for us to survive and for me to be able to support them. And I used to tell them to support me for me to support them. So we used to work as a team.
Good.
So when I would go to work, my older son would obviously take care of, things and take care of his brother. But it was 2022. I mean,
2022.
No, sorry. 2012. Yeah, 2012. Sorry, I'm going ahead.
Yeah, we are speaking of Kenyan politics now.
So come 2012, I'm a director of behavior therapist. My younger son is, he was doing his, he was 17 doing his A-levels. And the other one was in university on his third year. And I'll never forget that day. It was 20th of April, 2012. And it was my birthday.
So your firstborn son was in third year in university. What was he studying?
He was doing IT.
Oh dear.
Business systems, yeah.
And this was on your actual day, was on your birthday. Okay, go on.
So it was 20th of April, 2012. It was actually my birthday. I was really very excited because I hadn't seen him for a few weeks, but we used to talk on the phone. And 2 weeks earlier, I think I had called him, and he had a cold. And
just a common cold.
A common cold, yes. And then I called him, and then obviously because we used to talk, the second week I realized that he still had the cold. Young men or young people, they don't discuss,
health issues
or anything. Yeah, health issues. So I called him and I realized and I asked him, you still have that cold? It looks like it hasn't gone. He said, yeah, Mom, I don't understand what's happening. This cold is still with me. And I told him, look, you young people, you're not very keen on health, but can you make sure you go to the GP and get a blood test?
Yes.
And luckily, as I said, my son always used to listen to me. And he did go to the GP and got his blood taken. So this particular day, I remember I went to work and I didn't really feel like doing anything. For some reason, I was kind of excited because he was coming down and he was bringing his girlfriend down with him. So I was really excited. And as normal, we normally celebrate our birthdays. So I was really looking forward. And I kind of canceled all my clients and decided to go shopping for the food for the evening. Yeah. So it was around 4 p.m. when I was actually cooking and the call came. And at first, when I saw it was his call, I thought he was at the station. He wanted me to go and pick him up. But when I picked up the phone, he said, Mom, and then the phone went quiet or dead. And I thought, what's the matter? So before I could call, the call came again. And this time, instead of him, it was his girlfriend. And I asked her, what's the matter? Then again, the phone went off. And now I started getting worried. I was kind of baffled and I started worried. And for some reason, I couldn't get to the keypad to type his number to call. But, within that confusion, the call came back again. And I think this time he had gathered strength and he told me, Mom, you told me to go and get a blood test done. And they have just called me and they have told me they suspect leukemia. And at that point,
did they actually tell him that on the phone? I don't think that I'm not in that field, but I don't think that is the best way to break such news.
It was horrible. So he was beside himself, but he was trying to be strong for me. And I remember my phone just sliding out of my hand. I felt paralyzed. I felt numb. I mean, I couldn't think.
I can imagine.
And yeah, and then he did call again and say, I think he had been advised to get out of the train and to go back to the hospital in Portsmouth. He was in Portsmouth University. So I remember sitting there, feeling numb, not knowing what to do. And one of the things is that I decided to call a friend. They say that I think the love of a mother is quite phenomenal, because one of the things that made me come off that stupor was thinking, who is he with and what he's going through. So I kind of came out of it and called a friend who came. Within a very short time, she had organized me and his brother. And I remember during the journey to Portsmouth, which is about 1.5 to 2 hours, his brother carried himself to sleep on the back seat. And so we went to Portsmouth. We got to the hospital, and the doctors told us that they're going to do more tests and they will confirm to us the following morning. And I don't like remembering that day, because if you have ever prayed in your life, I really prayed that day.
Yeah, I would imagine. Definitely, you are expecting, you are waiting for the results, and it must have been a long night.
I beseeched all the gods. I prayed. I prayed. But unfortunately, the call came in the morning and confirmed that he had leukemia. It was devastating. I knew about leukemia, and I always thought it happened to others. I never thought it would happen to me. You hear things.
Yeah, it hits
hear
home
stories
now.
out there. Yeah.
How old was Kevin then?
He was 22.
Just at his prime.
He was 22.
I don't want to ask.
And he was
that had been the most devastating phone call ever.
And he was, I don't know, he was my, anyway, so.
Sorry about that.
It was tough.
It must have been.
Yeah. As I was saying, I think one of the things that hit me is that we hear things, we hear stories about people and about things, and we always think it's out there and it happened to them.
Not us.
But not to us. And when it hits you, and when it catches you, or it gets to you or your family member, then you really get to know it, and to know that what you hear happens to real people. And I think until it happens to you, people don't really understand. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. Whew. So, do you like a short break?
I'm fine.
All right. Viewers, once again, we are hosting our friend, our sister, Veronica Carrera. And so far, she has taken us through that journey of losing a 22-year-old. And we are at that point where they got that phone call. He was in university, third year in university. And Veronica had to drive all the way for 2 hours because the son had a blood test and the doctors have confirmed the worst. And overnight, they were waiting for that phone call. And now Veronica has taken us to that journey up to when they got that phone call and the doctor confirms that Kevin, the 22-year-old son, had leukemia. So, Veronica?
So, what I would call that is, I'll call it the journey began. It was a tough journey. One of the doctors told us, nowadays the prognosis is, usually is not bad. There are treatments, and it was very hopeful. But one of the things I know is when my son was I was a zombie most of the time.
Yeah.
Especially during those first days. I wasn't really functioning. I was just going and walking to hospital and going back to his place. Because although he was in year 3, he was also working for Carphone Warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And they loved him there so much. So he had a place in Portsmouth, and that's where I was going. And it was tough. It was tough. And I always tell people that's where probably my self-discovery journey began. Because this is when you realize you're really on your own. Nobody can take your pain. Nobody can share your pain with you. And when you look at your son and you don't know what the future holds, the uncertainty of everything, sometimes you can't sleep because you're always kind of waiting for that phone call.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're wishing there is the worst on this side and there is hope here, and you don't know where to stay. You don't know whether to lean on the worst or to lean on the hope. And then you got this kind of you're emotionally all over the place, and it's a tough place to be. It's also looking at your son. I remember this day when one of the nurses came to tell him about the chemotherapy that he was going to get and how toxic and dangerous it was. And I thought she was killing my son there and then. And I didn't know what to do. And I had to rise up to the occasion to be my son's preacher. Like, you don't listen to what they're saying. You're going to leave. You're going to overcome this. I don't even know what I was talking about, but I had to give him that strength. And one of the things I made sure during that journey is he's never seen me cry before him.
Now, hang on. Sorry to take you back, Veronica. Take us slowly. I know the story myself, but the viewers here are hearing this for the first time. And Jeff, son, share, please. We left at that point where you got that phone call in the morning. So has he been admitted? What has started? Because you say the journey begins. Take us back there so that we can know. Because at the moment, you've already started. He's already there, but let us hear, what the doctors have decided and what treatment they've started with, please.
So when they called me in the morning to tell me that he was already in hospital, remember he had been told to go back to hospital.
Uh-huh.
So we left him in hospital to go home for them to do more tests. So it was in the morning that they confirmed that the tests were positive, that he had leukemia. And this time he had the aggressive one, acute myeloid leukemia. So mine now, the job was to go to hospital to see him, to get even more details with the doctor. And I remember it's that day when I went to hospital that I had to sit down with this doctor who told me about, the prognosis, the kind of treatment procedure, what needs to happen. She also talked about a bone marrow transplant, but at that time, I was not thinking straight. As I said, now.
Yeah.
And for few weeks, I think for about 3 weeks, I think I was operating from robotically.
I can imagine.
I wasn't feeling anything. I wasn't thinking anything. I was just doing. In fact, it was the first week. I had friends who would come over. I had 2 good friends of mine. One who stayed with me for 1 week and the other one stayed with me for the other week. I'll never thank them enough. And their job was to make sure I've eaten, I have washed, because I was just there. I was just kind of like a robot. And then we go to hospital, then I'll be kind of alive there, because when I see him, it's like he was even when he was diagnosed, when you looked at him, he was such a picture of good health. You couldn't even believe he had such a serious illness inside of him. So I think when I would see him, I would probably think maybe they're lying, my son is fine. But obviously there came a place when they had to start the chemotherapy. And that's when I was telling you that there was this nurse who came to explain about chemotherapy, what it was, its side effects, what it's all about. And she explained how toxic it is and how dangerous it is. And I thought she was handing my son a death sentence there and then in front of my eyes. And I thought, no, I can't stand here and listen to what this nurse is telling my son. And I had to give my son hope. I mean, I didn't have anybody to get into the gap. I had to get into that gap.
Wow.
And I remember encouraging him. And I think he saw how animated I was. And then he looked me straight in the eye and told me, Mom, I'll be all right. I'm sure we'll be all right, you know. And from there, we worked again as a team, me giving him strength, him giving me strength. But as I said, that was a journey that was the start of a very long journey, a 2-year journey.
2 years?
Yeah, a 2-year journey. Yeah, so he was given chemotherapy. So without going into details, obviously he had chemotherapy, and that's when I said I went through the journey of seeing your son change in front of you, loss of hair, loss of weight, various infections, him changing in front of you, loss of weight and everything, and you know, and when they have chemotherapy, their body becomes so weak, no immune system. So anything, and I remember doctor telling us that sometimes people who go through chemotherapy or cancer, it's not usually the cancer that kills them. It is the infection that they get when their immune system is so low, because with chemotherapy, it kills all the good cells and the bad cells. So usually the body is left with nothing to defend.
Weak. The body becomes weak, no immunity at all.
There is no immunity at all. So any infection that they get during that period, when their system is building or growing new cells, can actually kill them very easily. So those were our difficult times when he would go through a chemotherapy bout, and then his immune system would be so low. I mean, I kind of became a doctor myself, because I was knowing about his cells when they were growing, when they were increasing. I would ask, how many white cells now does he have, just to know that his immune system is growing, is increasing,
is improving,
is improving. So, but it was also my difficult time in terms of myself and the way I was dealing with it. Remember, I had another son who was at home. I'm spending so much time with one. The other one is at home. He's only 17. I feel like I'm also neglecting him. He doesn't see me because I literally used to live in hospital. So I would stay in hospital till 3 a.m., come home, sleep, and then by 12, I'll be back in hospital. I had very good managers who let me go off for 1 year with with full pay, I'll never thank them enough as well. There's so many people to thank in life sometimes when you go through a bad state. And not to mention our community, they really helped and supported. I'm sure you remember those days.
Yeah.
There were people who used to come and see Kevin that we didn't know them. They just had the story of Kevin and they would come. So, but personally, as I said, it was my own personal. At first, I argued with God. I won't lie to you. I asked him so many questions. I was so angry. How could he let me bring up 2 boys on my own, do such a wonderful job, and then just take him at his, get him unwell? I was angry. I was really angry. But for some reason, even with my anger, after some time, I walked towards him rather than away from him. And I started obviously slowly getting stronger. And as I told you about this self-discovery thing, that is when I started slowly also doing some self-discovery, serious self-discovery work. So I remember Kevin was quite they called me and told me Kevin needed his leukemia was the aggressive one, as I said, acute myeloid leukemia. And they said because when they did the first chemotherapy, it didn't clear the cells, and that was an indication that it was quite serious. So he needed a bone marrow transplant. And that is when another blow had to happen to me. So they told me, the doctor sat me down and told me, your son needs a bone marrow transplant, which now we call it stem cell donation. But unfortunately, we can't get a donor.
After how long? Sorry, after staying in the hospital for how long? When did they say this?
I think he went through the first chemotherapy. He didn't go on remission. They had to do another chemotherapy.
Oh dear.
And then, of course, as you go through chemotherapy, they wait for you to get to recover a little bit before they can give you another chemotherapy, because otherwise, if they give you chemotherapy immediately after the other one, it can actually kill you because you've got no strength. And it's very toxic. Chemotherapies are very toxic. So there was a process where then by the time they're going to do the second chemotherapy, they had to have a plan of a bone marrow transplant. And that is at that time that they needed to find out whether he could get a bone marrow match. Unfortunately, they couldn't. So we are talking about from diagnosis, we are talking about within 4, 5, 6 months, because this is when he was going through the chemotherapy treatment. So they couldn't get a bone marrow match. And this is when, as I said, another disappointing and devastating information that they couldn't get him a donor because Black people do not register, and there are very few Black people who register to become stem cell donors. I also learned at that time that donation goes with ethnicity. So a Black matches Black, Caucasian, Asian to Asian. And so there were no Black people on the bone marrow registry. And that was so devastating, very devastating. I felt like they gave me another kind of a serious blow that really kind of it killed me inside, to be honest.
Which was actually the truth, because they did not have, that's true, they didn't have any in their bank. They had all the others, but not our particular one. Oh dear. It must have been devastating now to know that if it was there, this is saving Kevin. And now all of a sudden they look in their banks, they don't have any matches for our Black people. And, where do you start? What do you do? Where do you go from there? Viewers, once again, we are listening to this very, very emotional story from our sister, Veronica Carrera, how she watched her 24-year-old, 22-year-old son just go down and breathe his last. It starts from 22. Now he's heading to 23. He's in hospital. And what Veronica has said, that there were no signs or symptoms whatsoever. It just started as a minor cold, and he goes to the hospital, and within no time, they say they diagnosed him with leukemia, and here he is now. And the only cure they're saying is donor stem cells. They call that the stem cells now, and there is no match for him. And imagine, this is in United Kingdom, where most of our very famous and rich people come for treatment. You find even, all the rich guys in Kenya, when they have got all these, cancers and all that, they move either to India or to UK. But look at this. Kevin is here. He's British. He cannot get a match, and he's in hospital because our Black people, there was none in the bank. Oh dear. Go on, Veronica.
So it was really very devastating. I remember when we got the news. At this point, Kevin had improved a bit. Um, he was now he was. I think during that period, we are in the process of them looking for a donor. He's also in the process of recovery, and they're saying there is no time. He needs a donor because what they didn't want to is for the cells, for his cells to build up, and then the bad cells to start coming up again. So I remember, I remember one day I met. There was a talk within the hospital, and this is where we went for the talk, and we found it was African Caribbean Leukemia Trust, and Beverly, one of the founders, gave a talk about bone marrow transplant, because one of the things that I was really kind of also angry about is because even when the doctors told us that, they never advised us on what we could do until we went to that talk. And then Beverly talked about her story about her son and how they started ACLT. And then when she finished talking, I really could not wait for her to leave the podium before I went running to her to ask her to tell her our story and our dire circumstances. And she really, really told me, she came to us, we talked, and she asked me what I would want them to do. And I said, can we look for a donor? And she said, immediately we can start doing a drive to look for a donor. And she started, she worked with me, she worked with us. We started the campaign to look for a donor for Kevin. And as you know, it was quite, the campaign went well, as you know. All the national news were giving Kevin's story. Our community came in droves. I remember you were there when we were doing the donor drive. And around 500 people registered within 2 hours. And that's how I know how Kenyans are they're lovely people. They really came out in numbers. And you could see the love, and everybody wanted to save Kevin, really. And
yeah, I remember in the news, Kevin being interviewed, and they're showing that picture of a very handsome young man lying on a hospital bed and covering his state. And I think that is what drove people to really give. Viewers, please, when you see my sister emotional, I did tell you, I did warn you that yes, she's gone through a very, very, very difficult journey, losing her 22-year-old son. And it just came very abruptly. She just got to the hospital, just because of a minor cold, and the doctor diagnoses that he's got leukemia. And now here, the son, Veronica, it was so devastating. She's watching her son go down, and now they say he's kind of almost recovering, and they say he needs that stem. Is it stem cell? And there is none here. There is none. Yet this awareness had not been created. Veronica, every time Veronica has been talking to us, she becomes very passionate, because why was this not awareness? Why were we not being told? Yet when you register with a GP, even today, they do ask you whether you want to be a kidney donor, whether you want to donate all these things. I think there was a failure there, a great failure there, where the awareness was not there. And remember, again, Veronica said it's not until she went to this talk that she found out they could start that drive to look for a donor. And she has a son here, 22, now almost 23, lying on a hospital bed, very, very sick. Yet his life could have been saved. This is very, very emotional. This is very, very touching, that you're watching your own son. There is nothing you can do. You are helpless. I remember your other son was a close match.
So when they couldn't find a donor, even though people registered, they said they were gonna try and save his life, and the only best way they could do it to see whether it would work was to give him a half match, which his brother was a half match, which is really, if you look at research and trials, half match do not work. Usually what works is 100% or 90% and over. So for a 50%, they were just trying their best to save Kevin's life. So they used his brother's stem cell because we couldn't get a donor despite the hard work we did, and it's at that point that I realized that if black matches black and white matches white and Asian matches Asian, so it just makes sense that in Africa then we should have registries because that's where black people are. And unfortunately, we don't have anything like that. We don't have those kind of facilities, and it was really very devastating that even at that point I got so many calls from Kenya when people were seeing the news, asking where could we go and donate or register to donate, but there is nowhere we would have sent them to go to, because there is no place and there is no facility. And frankly speaking, I don't even think they're even anywhere near, near thinking that, because as you know, our healthcare system is really what it is. I don't want to say what it is.
Yeah.
So they came up with a solution that the best way they could try and save him was using his brother's stem cells, and his brothers donated.
And that's half match.
Half match, yeah. So, and I think all it did, to be honest with you, was it did obviously probably increase his days, because they had to see whether it was going to graft in and to start working. But unfortunately, because of the delay and everything, I think the bad cells had started, I think, increasing and developing within his brain area. So even after they did his brother's transplant, it didn't work, which was expected anyway. But it's just that they were hoping against hope that maybe because he was young and it could work. But unfortunately, it didn't work, and we couldn't get a donor. And on 24th of May, 2014, Kevin left us. He was 24 at that point. He always believed that he was going to get better. He was going to get a donor. He was very keen to spread the word about bone marrow donation, especially to the young people. And it is after he died that we thought it was good to have his legacy and start something and get people to encourage people to register to become stem cell donors. And that's how Kevin Carrera Leukemia Trust was founded. It was founded shortly after he died, which was in 2015. And as you know, we have been raising awareness, educating people about leukemia, encouraging people to register to become stem cell donors, potential stem cell donors. And we educate people because what I realize is that we live in a lot of ignorance.
We do.
There is so much that we don't know, and we really don't want to know because it hasn't touched us. And I think it is good for us to know this, even if it doesn't touch you, just get to know, because today's me, tomorrow is you.
Knowledge is power.
And knowledge is power. And today, even if it doesn't touch you, it can touch your family. I mean, it can touch your friend. And we are all connected. That's what I've realized, that
Yeah.
you cannot say that it's only happening to there. If you look at the pandemic and how it has affected all of us, then you realize that there is no difference between me and you. And
Absolutely.
we are all breathing the same air. And today it could be me, tomorrow it's you. So we cannot do something to help. We cannot do something to make a change. We cannot do something to make a difference. And one of the things I challenge people is, when we started this recruiting people to become stem cell donors, I have also learned a lot about us human beings, and especially about our Black people. And I'll say it here that I think it's good to challenge ourselves, because I think we take so much time blaming other people for our problems, but actually we don't really sort our own problems first.
Mm-hmm.
And I've realized that this problem is ours. It's nothing to do with the Caucasian. It's got nothing to do with the white people. This is our issue. If we do not register and donate to save our people from this kind of a thing, then there is nothing a white person can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to do it. We need to solve our own problems. We need to go out there but what I have found is that when we go to tell people to register, I mean, the reasons people come up with, I have seen mothers pull their children who are 18 off the queue when they're coming to register. And really, it really leaves my heart thinking, really? If that was your son, the same child you're pulling from the line.
Mm-hmm. Would you do the same?
Yeah, if that child was on a bed like my son, how would you feel if somebody pulled their children out of the, it's just, I mean, the things I have seen and heard people say. But when I started signing people, I used to get angry. I think I was too passionate for my own good. But now I'm not judgmental. If you don't want to register, that's okay. If you want to register, but what the key thing is to educate people that it is easy, it is simple, and when people hear bone marrow donation, they think your bone is going to be cut or something. It's not like that.
I remember when we came for the drive. I had all the gang with me, my sisters and all my friends. We came and we got packed in that church hall, and we also wanted to find out, because the thing is, okay, in a way, I do not want us to beat ourselves that much, because we need that awareness. We need that education. We need to know what it is. Because to be honest, every time when people hear bone marrow donation, they think, oh, I thought the same. And I had prepared. I was saying, which part of my body, which part of the bone? Is it the arm? Is it going to be the thigh? Is it going to be the ribs? Because we take it literally. We say the bone marrow, and we think, oh, it's going to be a bone. So honestly, our people need that awareness. We need to continue. And I really want to appreciate what you are doing, because now you have continued to create that awareness. It's just a tiny thing, and a needle, and there's nothing. You don't even get that deep cut as people used to think. I was thinking we will register, we will go and lie on a hospital bed, and then some muscles and bones will be cut off.
No.
So our people, I wouldn't. On the other hand, you've said, yes, we are ignorant, yes, and it's good. That's what you think. But I can kind of defend them and say it's a lack of awareness. And you see this.
But even with the awareness, sometimes we can also be quite resistant. We can be quite resistant. And I also, as you say, yes, I do. That's why I told you I got to this place. I'm not judgmental, because there is that lack of information, there is that lack of knowledge, and there is also some of our very, very embedded beliefs and traditional beliefs and things like that. So there are also myths and so many things that sometimes we
About
carry
blood.
around with us that stops us, that actually stops us doing the right thing. But really, if you're doing something the right thing, I always think that if it's the right thing, then what is stopping you doing that? If it's not gonna kill you, if all you're doing is you're saving somebody else's life. And I always think that there is nothing noble in this life, like saving somebody else's life.
Absolutely.
And a pint of blood and a stem cell donation. And actually, when we educate people, and I want to say it here so that people can understand how the process works, it's easy, it's simple, and becoming a potential donor does not mean that you will donate. That's what people forget. By just becoming a potential donor, you're putting yourself forward, that if ever anybody ever matched you, you are able to save their lives. You can donate. So, and just signing up to be a potential donor, you just need a mouth swab. And this mouth swab, you just send it to the registry. They take something called HLA tissue typing. They give it a code, and then they put you on a register. And you might never, ever be called because you might never match anyone. But if you ever match someone, they keep those records until you're 60, and then they throw them away. So if you match someone while you're still on the register, usually what they do, they call you and they ask you, you register to be a potential donor, and now there is somebody, they don't even tell you where this person are. There is somebody in hospital who requires a donor, and you have matched them. Would you be willing to donate? And at that point, you can say yes, or you can say no. So if you say yes, the other step is, are you healthy enough to donate? If you signed up, say, 5 years ago, who knows, maybe after 5 years ago,
situations change.
Yeah. So you might not even be healthy enough to donate. But if you are, and you say yes, then you go to the next step. So they make, in this country, one of the things within this country is they do things, they coordinate things so well. So the only thing they do is, if you say yes, they normally book a hotel for you. They liaise with the patient, with the doctors who are looking at the patient, so that they can coordinate in such a nice way that when they get the stem cell, they are going to transport the stem cells immediately, and that stem cells are going to go and save the other person's life. And really, donating is like giving blood. So with the technology nowadays, you don't have to. I think before they used to put a needle within, I think, at the back of the hip, whereby they would go and draw the bone marrow, with a needle. So you go through kind of anesthesia. But nowadays, most of the stem cells it's just like giving blood. And what they do is 4 days before you go to donate, they give you, I remember them giving us to my son, they give you small injections. You can't even see them because they are kind of plastic, yeah. And then you know the big belly muscle,
yeah.
That's where you just inject in 4 days prior to donating. All what you're doing, those injections increase your white blood cells. And those cells are the ones they are going to harvest on the day of donation. So they put the the way, I don't know whether you have ever donated blood.
Yes, I have so many times. Yes.
So when you donate blood, they put the cannula here.
Yes.
So they get blood, they get it through what do you call it? A pipe, and this pipe is going to a machine.
Yeah.
Now within this machine, that blood, they separate the red blood cells, platelets, and plasma, and then they leave just the stem cells, which we call the white blood cells, and that's what correct. Yeah, everything else goes back into your other arm. So they collect those cells, and those are the cells they go and now give to the patient, and you save a life. It's as simple as that. It takes about probably 4 hours, and then you go home. So that is what we educate people. We encourage, we tell them the process, we teach them the process. It's simple to register. You might never be called, and if you ever called again, it's and they'll also go through that process with you again to, to remove your fears, and so that you can be able to, you can be well informed to make an informed decision to consent to donate. So it's really as simple as that.
Wow, Veronica, I still don't want to blame people because the way you're explaining gives me goosebumps. Even when I'm donating blood, one of my sisters know that. I would go and with my eyes closed, I'm not even looking, even to have that test. But well, this one is very different, guys. We need to register. Let's get our names on this donor register because you never know whose life you're gonna save. Before this, we have our late son, Kevin Carrera. No one knew. We did not know that this was needed. And it doesn't matter whether it's somebody you know of or, all you're doing is being that good Samaritan. You are saving somebody's life. And in the drive, I've followed Veronica very well. In her drive, it's well known, the documentation is that most Black people, we do not have enough donors. We do not have enough donors. So, and particularly the younger people, they are strong, they are energetic. And what I like is that you get through those pipes, you get those tubes, they lead to your body, the cannula is there, and your blood is circulated. They harvest, they harvest the white blood cells, which is what is needed. So when they say donation of our stems, I mean, it's not a very big process, but it saves somebody's life. So viewers, tonight our program, like we say, and I can see all the comments, very, very emotional. Our sister went through a journey that she would never wish anybody, any parent, any sister, any brother, or anybody, even the devil himself, to go through it, because it was a very, very, very painful journey. I know that because I saw her most of the times. I saw her even on the actual day when we laid our son to rest. And it was a very, 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 very emotional journey for her, having brought up her son up to the age of 22, final year in university, only to get that phone call and being told that your son has leukemia. So through this, Kevin, I remember on the funeral day on the 24th, there was something about, Kevin had said something about raising 24,000. Was it? Do I remember? Yeah, can you take us through that? I remember we had to donate.
Yeah. Kevin's wish was to register, to 2,400 people, just to mark his age, 24 years. But as we said, that is really kind of the key that drove us to start the Kevin Carrera Leukemia Trust, just for his legacy and for his death not to be in vain, but that through his death, somebody else's life can be saved.
Amen.
And so far, we have registered now more than 1,000. Last time I checked, which was before 2020, well, we had registered more than 1,000 people. So, and we are still increasing those numbers. I'm sure I haven't asked for the list of the people, for the numbers that we have registered so far. So we are increasing those numbers, and we want as many people to register to save lives. We believe
Now, can I ask? You said 1,000 donors so far. Is that in the whole of UK?
Yeah, I think most of it London, yes.
Oh my God. And what is the hindrance? What is the barrier? Why aren't we getting
That's exactly what I'm
as donors? What because you've been going out, you've traveled way far and wide. What are some of the reactions? What do people say? Why don't they want to be donors?
It's exactly what I was telling you. Our ignorance, our fear, our beliefs, it's a combination of, and really, this is us. We have to really kind of come to terms that describes who we are. We are very reluctant when it comes to these things. If I call a meeting for people to come and register to become donors, and if you call a meeting out there for a business, obviously people would go that one, but they wouldn't.
Leave alone business. If I called a political rally, if I
exactly.
said, I'm not naming names because
Exactly.
you affiliate me. If I said one of these presidential candidates are coming
Yes.
tonight and I've booked this hotel, do you know, I would even have to turn some people away, isn't it? My sister Beatrice Gary, we know where we are. But if Veronica calls for this drive, it's just a handful of us. Guys, we need to rise above that. Yeah. This is important. This is very, very important.
We are difficult people to, me included. I don't just say them, I just say all of us, because I have to own that this is what we are all about. Yeah, this is who we are.
Oh, God help us.
Yeah, I think we always get our priorities wrong. We really don't care about our health as well.
I was gonna come to that.
Yes, we really health within the Black community is at the bottom of the list when it comes to taking care of anything. And I tell people about looking after our health in terms of the way we work, the way we approach things, even with our mental health, because it's not only our physical health, it's also our emotional and well-being. It's at the bottom of our list when it comes to anything else. And that is what I don't know what to make us wake up and really start looking after ourselves. We really don't. And we only wake up when it affects us. And at that point, that's when we want to do Harambes. That's when we want to, I don't know. I really don't know how to describe and it's sad, because if we get our priorities right, then things are going to work properly if we get our priorities right, I think things are going to work holistically in a better way. And that's why we struggle in so many areas, I think.
And do you think we've done enough of these drives? We've done enough of this awareness? We've done enough of this education? Do you think we still have a long way to go?
We have a long, 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 long way to go. Long way to go. It's really, the idea here is we take opportunities when there is a gathering to go and talk about it, because when you call people particularly and specifically for it, nobody's going to turn up. So it's really kind of taking opportunities, like you see us in the Kenya in the park, in other events. Those are the advantages we take, so that we can really be able to talk to people about leukemia and leukemia awareness and stem cell donation. If tomorrow I called, I can assure you, nobody will turn up. Even with blood, it's not only stem cell donation, which probably comes with a lot of fear, as you say.
Yeah.
But even with blood donation, we are also very, very, very reluctant to donate blood. And I'm thinking that we all have young people that we have brought up in this country. We should be teaching them how to be members of the community who are really, really involved in the community in so many, on a ground level. And I know we are encouraging them to achieve and to become the best people that we want them to be and to succeed in life. But I think success starts from the bottom. I think it starts from teaching our young people to take responsibility in these kind of things. Let them donate blood, let them be involved within the community we live in, let them know what happens and what works, what doesn't work, and I think we have really, really failed. And as I said, our priorities are really, really, really wrong.
You say
and I don't want people to
we
judge.
say you have to start from the bottom, so bottoms up. The bottoms
Yeah.
up approach you're bringing.
Yeah, bottoms up approach. I think, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my. Okay. We're still talking about this awareness of stem cell donation. Is it stem cell?
Yeah, stem cell donation.
Guys, we need to check. Yes, I check. Jeff Kush, our son, is saying we need to get our priorities right. Yes, Jeff, I did say that. Veronica said that our priorities, we look at you young people, so it's got to be the bottoms up approach. Very few people are getting that joke anyway.
Yeah.
Now, we're just talking about that drive here in the UK, and yet it is provide obviously it is among the Black people, and we're thinking about our nation Kenya. Have you tried to do anything, because we could use these forums and reach out? Have you what how far have we gone in terms of getting these priorities, also getting these donations, getting this awareness back home? Because I believe we are all Kenyans at the end of the day, and some of us will retire. There we've got, I can see young people here who are already in Kenya. I can, like this young man, our son Jeff Kush. He interacts with big people. He goes to different places. He's a minister. He's a DJ. He's doing so much, and he interacts with very senior people. How can we create this awareness and have these banks, stem cell banks in Kenya? What can we do?
That is our vision. We are registered in Kenya, and our aim is to create awareness. But obviously, we starting a registry is not an easy, because we've done a research. We have connected with the Nigerian registry. We have connected with the Sunflower registry in South Africa. We have talked to various people, even DKMS, the company we collaborate with. And that was our idea, is how can we even start? Because remember, in Kenya, even when people get diagnosed with leukemia, it's already devastating that they have to go to India to get treated. But even worse still, even their family members being just tested, whether they are a donor, it's a wrong process. There are no facilities for that in Kenya, so they have to do blood. The blood has to be sent all the way to India, and then they have to get the results whether they are matches. So, I mean, when I hear stories and when people talk to us, because we get calls through our website and everything, it's really so sad that we don't have the basics, if you know what I mean. So a registry would be a very good thing, and a transplant unit would also be very, very helpful. I think recently I was talking to one of the young men who was in the formation of Kevin Carrera Leukemia Trust, currently in Kenya, was telling me within the Kenyatta referral unit, I think they have an idea, or they have plans of, I think they have also built a transplant unit. I don't know whether it has started working or whether it's in operation. I don't know, but they are working towards the right direction now. But obviously, a registry requires a lot of resources for it to be operative.
Yeah.
We were working with, we were discussing with the Sunflower registry if they could probably sometime, maybe help us to start a registry whereby they can be able to hold the registry. But then obviously it's so complicated. And of course, everything comes to resources. And when you don't have resources, when you don't have money, everything becomes a hindrance.
Now, hang on, Veronica. Unless I missed a point, did you just say that Nigerians and South Africans already have those registers?
Yeah, Nigerian has a small one.
They're way ahead of us.
Yeah, they are.
Poor Kenya. We need to do something about this. We have to work and push this, because, I mean, this is health we are talking about. We're not just talking about politics here.
Believe me, if we had one in East Africa, we could have one in Kenya that would cover the whole of East Africa, and that would be brilliant. If there was a transplant unit, then that would work wonderfully. And people would, because people, we would get people of the same environment and the same ethnicity, which would mean there will be chances of getting a match would be quite high.
Wow. Something definitely needs to be done, because I think this could save some of the deaths that we're getting now. Do you know, I have no idea how many fundraising cards and appeals I get every single day. Currently, you and I, we know we are working on this, although that's a different one. We are helping this boy from our area who's going through heart operations, surgery, the second one. We've got so many who have got cancer, and every single day we are getting this. I get lost in the kind of appeals that I get. So sometimes I don't even reply because I get so many in my inbox, and poor me, we cannot manage. But with that register, I believe we can be saving some of the lives, because with leukemia, I believe there's a lot that can be done. But hey ho, the government needs to come in. We need that support. We need that hand. Someone, we are here. You're saying we're here, we can do what we can. And I believe if this was established and then within our networks, we could get a lot of support from here and then send it back home. But then there needs to be transparency. There needs to be somebody in Kenya who says, we're going to work on it. I mean, this is where we have all the failures. Look at all the what we are hearing, the COVID-19 billionaires. We do not want such kind of repeats, because this is health we are dealing with. There is a great vision there, yes, about getting that register. But then we need to have that transparency. We need someone who is reliable. Yes, Kenya, we are really poor, yet lots of resources on hand. Yes, we've got so much that we could just, maybe some of this is just a few phone calls away. If only we can have that trust, DJ Ashley. That's very true. We hear some of us, and there's so much that we can tap and bring back.
What really is, what really sometimes makes you want to cry is how our, I'm sorry to say this because it's true, how our politicians, when they get unwell, they come to,
here.
They come abroad for treatment. Well, actually, what they should be doing is to develop the healthcare system in our own country.
Absolutely.
Because when I hear the stories of leukemia patients, let me tell you something people don't know. If you get leukemia in Kenya or in Africa, let's say, sometimes it doesn't even get to be diagnosed. Because people die, with leukemia, sometimes you can just collapse and die. So there are those stories you hear somebody collapsed and died, Now, when they get diagnosed, because there is no facility for treatment, so they're just left to die, literally. And for those who are able to be treated, they can only be treated with chemotherapy. And then after that, it's one way or the other. You either recover or you die, because how many people would afford to go to India? How many people can afford, because leukemia is a disease that the bone blood disease that requires a lot of protocols in terms of treatment, because you can imagine if in these countries, I said, people die because of infection, even with their greatest facilities.
Yes.
Are you imagining this in Kenya when you go through chemotherapy and to avoid even getting that infection? So you can see people with leukemia, their chances is, although here you got 2% chance. I mean, in Kenya, you'd say we are probably 0 point something percent. It's really sad.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Well, what we say, we don't stop. We could still continue pushing, because definitely there will be that one who will be born and be there and be determined to push, because it's that interception in the middleman.
Yeah.
Because we could have a very good person in charge of the health, but the process and the mini handles that we have to jump before we get to the right person, that is where the real deal is. But hey ho, never giving up. We are not
We
gonna
are
give
not
up,
giving up.
because at
We
the
are
end
not
of
giving
the
up.
day, we
Yeah, we are
usually
not
tell
giving up.
people kama kuna watu wanajivunia kuwa Wakenya ni sisi, and you
Yes.
don't realize how much you miss something until you've lost it. I'm not saying we've lost our country, but because we are never there, we really proud Kenyans. If you see me, look at all my dressing. Look, I always wear my bangles, and even to work. Yes, I wear them because I want to show off. I want everybody to know I'm a proud Kenyan. Those of you who watched my Facebook, yeah, Jen, I had so many. Those of you who watched my Facebook live yesterday, I went to the World Travel Market, and I went to the Kenyan stand, and I was taking all these photos because we are away from home, but we love our country very, very much. We are the ambassadors. We are the face of Kenya abroad, and we are really proudly Kenyan. So whatever we try to do, we want to uplift. We want to give back. We want our nation to improve. But there's always that barrier. We're not going to stop. We will continue. And particular now, thinking of Kevin Carrera Leukemia Trust, which is a very, very important vision, very important. If only it can take root, that will save so many lives. DJ Ashley is telling us people are really dying of this disease. We have lost over 10 people in less than 2 months. We need a man who can hold on to this in the political area. We need proud Kenyans to stand in the gap. Yes, waambie watuite tuje tufanye kazi. We are willing to come and give back. Yes, we
Very
should.
much so.
Yeah, we are very much willing to come and give back.
And you know, Kenyans are good. Kenyan people
Oh,
are
yes.
just, you know, we give, because if you know right now, Harambe is kind of they're the ones that are helping people to get treated, because the health system in Kenya is so expensive. So it's like people are the ones who are helping their friends and families to combat that, burden of huge, or sometimes I hear of the health price or money that people have to do, and you just think, really? I mean, I don't know. It's scary.
Well, like we say, we are not gonna give up, my sister. And I can see my son Jeff, and he said he'll connect us with this lady. There's this lady who is a founder of Malaika Shuja Foundation. She's a cancer survivor. Campaign for this. She was diagnosed with cancer when she was young, and she stayed in hospital for 2 years. She registered her foundation in 2018. Her awareness campaigns are normally sponsored by Ministry of Health and health organizations. Yes, we'll be looking at that. Mwalimu mkuu, umechelewa wapi? But welcome, you will follow. And guys, I'm looking, not many of you have shared. This is important information, a lot of knowledge to be disseminated. If you are here and you haven't shared, unanikosea. Mwalimu mkuu nitakutuma. If you haven't shared, please. And if you haven't liked our YouTube channel, Beacon of Hope Beacon, so that you can follow and see what we are doing. Actually, what we are sharing tonight, it's not personal. We want to serve the community. We want to give back. We are thinking of what we can do back home in terms of the Leukemia Trust, because there's no awareness. Our sister here lost her 22-year-old son here in UK. And if that can happen here, what about some of our slightly poorer nations? But there is hope. There is hope. We can get out of it. And like we say, we are not stopping. There's nothing that's going to stop us. We will continue. I believe together we will hold your hand. Together we are strong and we can do something. So viewers, tonight we've had, you can tell our tone, although towards the end we became very, very passionate. It's been a very, very emotional journey of our sister Veronica. She started off on how she brought her 2 young sons as a single mom, bringing them to UK and getting on well. And Jeff was loving this when he heard of teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. The three of them, they were the trio. Veronica and her two sons, they worked very well, supporting mom, supporting each other, till that dark day of the 20th of April 2012, when our late son Kevin, at the age of 22, was diagnosed with leukemia. And that was just, it came so suddenly because he had a cough, he went for a blood test, and the doctor said they needed further tests. Then the next phone call, we suspect you have leukemia. And that was the minute mom says her heart just dropped, lost weight, and Kevin was in hospital for 2 years. Mom sitting there watching till that dark day of the 24th of May, 2014. 20th of May, 20th of May, when he breathed his last. And we laid him to rest here. I remember how emotional that day was. I've never forgotten, because if there is any funeral I've attended with so many young people, so many, the church hall was just full to capacity, the graveside, because he was such a people person. And again, his life touched so many people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, after Kevin Carrera's death, mom decided she wants to keep that legacy. And the legacy is the Kevin Carrera Leukemia Trust. What are you doing? If you're especially here in UK and you have not put your name forward to be in that register. And Veronica has explained very well. Just getting your name there such that in future, if there is a case, a needy case, they'll contact you, and they don't force you. It's a process. They take you through a journey. So please, please. Yes, and Bishop says, my darling, no doubt all these professionals in diaspora should think of giving back this professionalism to Kenya, not only in medical ethics, but disciples inclusive. Yes, yes. You know, we are a package. We are a package, and we are looking at what we can go and give back, whatever we have harvested here, just like that harvesting of the stem cells. So, Veronica, what is your parting shot? When is your next drive? What can we do to work with you? How can we support you? What can people do? And particularly now we are looking, our focus is more on Kenya, but here, what can people, maybe there's somebody who just came today and they've never heard of it, just like you said. I don't want to say they're ignorant, but maybe they've never heard of it. Don't blame them. So what's the next move?
So please, if you have not registered to become a potential donor, if you're of the age between 17 and 55, you can go to our website, www.kkltrust.org, and there you find a link. Check our website.
What did you say? I need to put that
www.kkltrust.
Son Jeff, can you put that down? It's gonna be read again. Can you put that down, and then I'm gonna share it? Jeff, I hope you're ready, Jeff Kush, son.
Yeah. So it's www.kkltrust.org, which is Kevin Carrera Leukemia Trust. We just shortened the
Can you go through that? Go through that again.
www.kkltrust.org. And within our website, you will find you find a link.
Oh, thank you, DJ Dashi.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the one?
Yes, that's the one.
So guys, I hope you are visiting that site already now.
Yeah. So there is a link there that will tell you how to register to become a donor. It's easy. You can also support us financially for the trust to do its work effectively. You can also become a volunteer. So you can also raise funds for us. So there is so many things you can do. Even if you cannot donate, if you are over 55, there is always a way you can be able to support our cause. So you can, we're looking for people with skills that they can donate to the trust. We're looking for, volunteer to work with the trust. We're also looking for people who can donate to us. Something, £5 a month, £3 a month. It goes a long way in, paying volunteers and traveling and, registering people. Like the kit for registering people usually can cost £40. So we really need support in all areas to be able to increase those numbers. I mean, we can have the best intention in our hearts, but sometimes when you don't have resources, it also becomes difficult. It becomes a handle. So they all work together. So if you're able to help us in any way, please, you are most welcome, and you'll be saving the world. You'll be making a difference.
You'll be saving a life.
Yeah.
Right, viewers, I know we've gone on and we could have gone and on and on and on and on, because you know what? This is knowledge is power. And for most of us, there are those people who said, it's the first time I'm hearing this. And so definitely we needed to go through it all and make sure that you do understand. And if you want further details, because I know it's not everybody who likes writing on the chat, if you'd like further details, you can get in touch with me and I'll link you with the Veronica. That's not my field, but I support her. I do attend her functions. So if you really want to know more how you can be part of this, get in touch with me and I'll link you with Veronica, and then let's give back. Let's be our brother's keeper. You never know. Veronica knew very little of this. She did not know that this would be hitting her door. So when you do this, please, you're not doing it for just the other person. You're also doing it for yourself. It could hit your home. And if you have registered or somebody else has registered, it will just go. It's a matter of just going back to the register and they see there is a match. There's a perfect match and you save somebody's life. Once again, we are told that, especially the Black people, we are the poorest donors. We don't. Please, even donation of blood, we don't. Kindly let us not be victims anymore. Let us give back. We are here, and yes, let us, yes, being our brother's keeper. Thank you, darling. Yes, being our brother's keeper. We are here, and honestly, this country, especially those of us in this country has given us so much. But like Veronica said, she doesn't blame the system. Those people could not have saved her son. It is us who could have donated and saved, because that's the only place where there could have been a match. Where were we? Nowhere. So we complain, we say all this, but what are we doing? Play your part. I play my part. Be that brother's keeper. And for any other information that you'd like, please, we are here. And I always tell people, Beacon of Hope is here to inspire. Beacon of Hope is here to motivate. Beacon of Hope is here to teach. So if you have learned anything, kindly share this information with somebody else by hitting that share button, by clicking on the subscribe of my YouTube channel. You'll be disseminating this information, and Veronica, people can get in touch with Veronica. We understand people are leading very busy lives. There are some people who are working, those in Kenya, and I thank you so much. Salute. It's quite late now. You know, people are busy, but people do follow, people do watch after this. But I do not have your contacts. My contacts are not your contacts, Veronica's contacts, Jeff Kush contacts, Bishop's contacts. So if each one of us here could share, please, we will have disseminated this information, we will have inspired, we will have motivated, we will have taught, because that's the motto in Beacon of Hope. So once again, I just want to thank. Yes, my sister, go on.
Just to say, if you're also out there and you want some emotional wellness, I am also here to help in terms of self-healing, because we go through so much sometimes because of some things that we experience in life. Mm-hmm. And if you are there struggling with anything like that, I am here. I've also got a website, veronicacarrera.com. Mm-hmm. Just check out and I'll help.
Wow, see through this, all things work for good. We just want to thank God that Veronica did not sit back and decide she's continue mourning. We know it's painful, yes, but she's decided out of this, I want something good to come out of this. And I believe our son up there in heaven is watching and he's happy with what mommy is doing, that his name lives on. He left a legacy that will live forever. And that is why we want to grow this legacy. We want to make sure that this legacy does not die a slow death. And this will be through you, yes, and through me. Let us all get together and support this lady. Let us support young men, because I know I've got young men here, Mwalimu Mkuu, DJ Ashley, Jeff Kush, and others. Let us support this vision. It is there for you. It is there for me. It is there for all of us. And I always tell people, together we are strong. And by the grace of God, yes, I can see we can do exploits. I always say it is by the grace of God that even Veronica has been able to come over here and pour out her heart and share that very, very painful and emotional time that she went through with her son. What is your part in short as we wind up now?
Thank you so much for listening to us. I would obviously say thank you, Councillor Kangede, for inviting me into your forum and giving me this opportunity to talk about what I'm really passionate about. And as I said, I believe anyone can be a hero. There is no noble thing to do like saving a life. We can all do something to make a difference, to impact on our world, even in the smallest ways. So, and as I said, there's so many ways that we can do it. So thank you so much for our listeners who have taken time to listen to us. And I hope that you feel inspired to hit that button and do something about something.
Do something about something.
Yes, you become a problem solver rather than adding a problem. And if we all do that, if we all work together, then I think we are going to be in a better world.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Amen and amen. Keep up the good work. Yes, Jeff says, keep up the good work, Ma'am Elizabeth, Bishop BK, Kere, you are a blessing to our generation. This is one of the best shows and so informative. Amen. To God be all the glory. We cannot do this if there are no viewers. So I also want to thank you all for staying up late, particularly you young people in Kenya. But you really, really also inspire me with what you are doing. For those of you who do not know, Jeff does so much. And I can see also DJ Ashley and Mwalimu Mkuu, they do so much for their generation. They are not giving up. They are not stopping. You find them in all different functions, in different fundraisings. They are doing so much because God has given them the energy. Let us work while it is still early, because nighttime is coming and you will not have any more energy. Veronica, Ruth says, well done, Veronica, for the topic, and very, very educative. Thank you. That's my sister. I love her so much. Okay, guys. There's amen there. Yes, to God be all the glory for all the things that he has done to us. So tomorrow night you have Bishop. He comes, those of you who do not know, same time, 9 p.m., he comes with his family program, and he's been talking to us very, very deep issues of, and it's not just for married people. Yes, Jeff can tell you, he's been learning a lot. Yes, Mwalimu Mkuu amesema asante sana. Yes, we bless God for your lives too. So tomorrow night, again, we meet here on Beacon of Hope with Bishop BK. My husband, he talks about family issues, all sorts of topics. And I love that. I can't wait for Saturday. I'm always longing for Saturday. Last Saturday, I was not here because I went for the Face of Kenya function. And so many people are telling me, next time, don't leave Bishop on his own. And he tells me, thank you, BOH, for bringing the programs and projects to Limelight carried out by Kenyan diaspora, including young talent youth. Yes. Thank you so much, darling. Thank you. We love you. So we've come to the end of our program tonight, guys. We love you. And without you, again, we would not have Beacon of Hope. So once again, I'm still reminding you, Veronica has shared her heart out, but this message needs to be heard far and wide. Please share. I always tell you that the program we are using does not show all the viewers, because they fight with Facebook. So don't worry when you see that. I know there are so many people watching. I'm looking, even those people on YouTube and others on Facebook, but the programs we use, for some reason, it doesn't show the number of views. It limits. But hey ho, spread the news yourself. Share amongst your contacts. Let them come and hear what is happening. Create that awareness. So once again, I know it's a bit late, and I'm really, really proud of you, my sister. I can see the joy of the Lord is working in you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord continue bringing that inner healing that He only can give as you continue sharing and helping other people. We love you. We love you. We love you. Have a blessed night, and we'll be bringing you back to continue sharing the same.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Have a good night,
Have
my
a
dear.
good night too. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you too. Thank you
Bye.
for coming to our program. Thank you for coming to Beacon of Hope.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch. So, guys, that has been Beacon of Hope, a very, very emotional topic tonight. Because not many people would be willing to do what our sister Veronica has done. And just as we wind up, I always remind you, are you looking to buy any properties? Are you looking to buy land in Kenya? Now we've got these Ada Gardens. Ada Gardens. Ada Gardens is an 8-acre plot. Eighth, not a quarter, 8-acre plot. And this either 8-acre plot is it's affordable gated community in Kiserian, which is within Nairobi Metropolitan along Isinya Kiserian Road. And I always say, I don't involve myself in these kind of things because of all the scandals. So if you hear me advertising, know that I've done all the due diligence and I've sent people and they have seen it's genuine. So if you want to buy, trust me, you will not regret. You can always quote me. So it's an 8-acre plot, and there's available electricity on site, community area, borehole, chain link. And the best part of this is the payment options. You can pay cash 750,000. And remember, it is an eighth. Eighth is such a big piece. 750,000 Kenya shillings. Oh, the best part of it is you can pay 30,000 deposit. You fill in the forms, give your documents, your PIN, your ID, and you get your solicitor. They get their solicitor. You start payment, and you pay that within 24 months, within 2 years. And listen, it doesn't end there. Interest free, no increment. And this money includes the money for the transactions, the money for the title deeds. So when you finish, you will get your clean title deed, and you can send this to the bank. I would never advertise anything that I know will put me under jeopardy, something that is not genuine. We have done all the due diligence. This is Ada Gardens, and this is within Nairobi metropolitan area. Just go for it if you're really, really interested, or you can tell somebody, tell a friend to tell a friend. Within 2 years, I believe we can afford. We also have another piece of land we are selling, and that is in Muthiga. That is a smaller piece. It's a 1/4 acre because of the area where that is. Very, very prime area. It's going for 20 million and a quarter. You can get in touch with me. I've got all the aerial photos. I've also done the due diligence. It's 20 M for a quarter. It's within Muthiga. It's just on the main road. A very, very, very prime area, but negotiable if you get in touch with me or say you saw this on Beacon of Hope. For the other gardens, if you can get in touch with Almond Estate Company Limited on +254 733 874 for the Almond Estate Company Limited, +254 733 874 for the land in Muthiga, which is a 1/4 acre going for 20 million Kenya shillings. You can get in touch with me on it is 7907958612 632, and I'll link you with the owner. And remember, for any purchases, don't go for the word, do your due diligence. But for me to come and advertise, I have done it. And it is something that is trustworthy. I know the sellers, I know them, and I know it's not anything that you backfire at all. So for all this and all others, get in touch with us at Beacon of Hope. Now, finally, are you sending money home? I know this is towards Christmas. I know friends and family. We are supporting friends and family home. There's only one way that I've always encouraged people, and that is
Niajiwase. TapTap Send Money Transfer has launched its app in Kenya. Send money to M-Pesa and Kenyan bank accounts. Send money quickly at the best rate. Hassle-free. Available in the UK, France, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium and Germany. Tumaki too.
And that is TapTap. TapTap is the easiest way. They've got the highest rate of exchange. They are reliable. Your instant cash goes to your M-Pesa wallet, and you can also get a higher amount. So if only all what you need to do is give that link and say you saw this on Beacon of Hope, say use that link, say the code is LIZ254, LIZ254, and what do you get? £10 on your first transaction just by giving that link, say LIZ254, or you say you saw that on Beacon of Hope. I always tell people when I know something good that I need to share with my people, I do not want to keep it to myself. Irene Ivy, I know you are buying land. Yes, go and buy. Oh, Zipporah Getau, you are coming in now. Please do watch later. Jeff, I know you have welcomed all these people. They can watch. Yes, they can watch later. Yes, please follow the show. It was very, very, very emotional following the death. How my sister here, who shared with us all her life journey, how she went through losing her 22-year-old son, something that could have been avoided. Very, very emotional. Just kindly do me a favor, like what Jeff is saying. If you can share, please, someone else you come and learn. Please don't keep this to yourself. I always remind people, this is not for you. Zipporah Geta, you will watch after this. I am sure you will love what we have been sharing. It's very, very emotional. It's matters of life. And it is, Jenny Kamau, new maka job. Karibu, yes, we have to do this. And that's why I'm telling people, share. So that when you walikuwa kajob wakikuja, wanaenda tu kwa YouTube, wanaenda kwa link, they watch after this. Because we work at different times. Even here, there are people who are working overnight. I know my son Jeff, sometimes he does the DJ, he'll be there. I know Ashley, I know Mwalimuku, sometimes they'll be working late hours. So when they have time, they'll go and watch. So kindly, please, if you are here and you haven't shared, you're not being fair to me. Kindly share. Yes, share on your walls, guys. Yes, thank you, Jeff. I don't even need to say anything, son Jeff. Share on your walls, guys. This was so informative. We need this information because this could strike in your door. It could hit anybody. And we need to create this awareness. We need to know. So we've come to the end of our program. We'll see you tomorrow when we host Bishop BK. That time I sit and watch and listen. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. again. We need to follow. And then on Sunday, we have church. Those of you who are here and even online, we have Powerhouse Church. We meet at 1:45. That is 4 p.m. in Kenya. So even after you've gone to church, you can sit and be blessed. The word of God is new every day. And those of you who are near, you can join us at the Vibe Youth Center, 195 Beacon Tree Avenue, RM8 2UT. Beatrice Mungai nakuona, Jen Kamau nakuona, MC Kadiro nakuona, Irene Ivy, I can see you. Margaret Kongo, I can see you. And Trant, my sister, good to see you. Akira Adimo. Jacinta Waigajo, it's good to see you. Cecilia Dirago, Marianne Dongo, it's good to see you. Jeff, Bishop BK, my darling, it's good to have you on board. Mwalimku, it's good to have had you. Jeff Kush, it's good to have had you here, joining us, being one of us. Very, very, very good son who shares. He doesn't like keeping things to himself. Zipporah Gitao, I know you will watch after this. It's good to have you here on board. I can see people saying bye-bye. Wamugai, I can see you. Beatrice Mungai, the other Beatrice Mungai. Ruth, my sister, Ruth Wama, sure, it's good to have you. Jen Kangeve, another sister, it's good to have had you here. DJ Ashley, yes, it's good you are here and you have shared. I can see that. Looking, Jacinta Waigajo, yes, I've already mentioned you. I'm looking. If I don't mention you, know that really Irene Ivy, my sister, good. I saw you right from the beginning. Jerry Kamau. Oh, Bishop Vanessa, it's good to have you here, my dear. Well done, Nancy Reeve. Have they changed the age limit for donation? Maybe because that's what she said. Jeff Kush, I can see gracious grace. Good to see you, my sister. Knowledge is power. Yes, we need to know all these things. It's very message Oro. Good, you are here with us. You joined us. Dush, it's good you joined us. Mam Twen, you started with us. Grace Jahera, yes, I can see Wabo, you are there with us. My sister Grace, good to see you. All of you, if I didn't mention your name, know that we appreciate you. Know that we love you. Know that we don't want to take anything for granted. Thank you. Oh, thank you for joining us. There's another background noise. Thank you. Oh, Wesh. Oh, you missed some of it. We will watch on YouTube. Yes, I also forgot to say, we've got all this for all your travel. Those of you who are going to Kenya, Django Dweras. Yes, Django Dweras. Please send us all the details. We need to let people know if they are going on holiday. And even those in Kenya, you can organize your holiday, your package. They give that as a package. And I tell you, I've seen it. It is very reasonable. And you go to, or if you want to go to the coast, if you want to go local, if you want to go for a game drive, they organize the transport, the accommodation and everything, and the different packages. You can go on SGR, you can go on the plane, you can drive on their vans, you can Django Dweras. Let us promote them. And please send me all the details, and then I'll be putting that, and then people can know. I don't want the nice things to our people to miss all the nice things. So thank you all so much. Wesh, thank you for joining us. Asanteni sana. I could go on and on and on and on and on and on. Yes, you said you missed some of it. You can watch either on YouTube or on my Facebook page live. And Jeff Kush is reminding people, guys, share on your walls. This was very informative. So, kwaherini, mlale unono. Nimefurahia kuwaona. It was nice having you all. It was nice hosting you all. It was nice connecting with you all. And I know this has changed somebody's perception. This was a life-changing experience for us. I love you all. I love you. Kwaherini, yes. God bless you. God bless you. Sasa hamtaki kuondoka, mnataka kukaa. Mimi nitaenda. Unajua, it's a bit late to here. And I know those in Kenya, I really appreciate you. It's quite late, but you still stayed up because you know you are learning something. So all of you, including those who are in UK, in Germany, in US, in Australia, in the Emirates, I can see they are there. Mbarikiwe sana. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord do you good. Thank you, my darling Bishop BK, for keeping me company, always on my side, encouraging me. God bless you, and I love you. Love you. Barikiweni sana. God bless you. Good night, good morning, good day, wherever you are. Yes, jueni tunawapenda. Tukutane kesho kwa majaliwa ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Same place. I'm not going to say same time. It's a bit late. 9 p.m. here, midnight in Kenya. Love you. Love you all. Love you all. Love you.